Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodhanandana Jaya Brajana Ranjana Jaya Yashodhanandana Jaya Brajana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
जय श्री श्री राधा गिरधारी भगवान की जय। श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय। श्री श्री गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश भगवान की जय। श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण भक्त हनुमान की जय। श्री श्री राधा नील माधव की जय। श्री श्री निताई गौर चंद्र प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Shri Shri Gauranga ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Mahavishnu Goswaminiti Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. How's everybody doing? All right? Oh, everyone is happy? Can I hear from everyone, please? I would like to hear from everyone.
Yes, Prabhu. All good.
We're happy? Very good. What about others? Are we happy? Looks like others are not happy, Avinash Krishna Prabhu. You are the only one who's happy.
Yeah, just surviving, Prabhuji.
You are just surviving. Oh,
Yeah.
no. If you survive, what will happen to us, Prabhuji? Okay. Very nice. So now we are continuing with our discussion on the concepts of Bhagavad Gita. What did we discuss last week? Do you remember? The beginners program. What did we discuss last week? I'm not saying where we finished. I'm saying what did we discuss? Do you remember? Nobody. Okay, anybody else, please? Do you remember what we discussed last week? No. Oh. We discussed, does God love us or not? That was our discussion. Do you remember this? Does God love us? We had a long, lengthy discussion on that point. Does God really love us? Now, do we know at which point? I think we have taken about 2-3 weeks now. It's been a long time. So probably you may have missed where we finished last time. So I can tell you, and those of you who can come online, show your faces, please do so. Those who can't or busy, I understand. No problem at all. Right. So now we'll continue with our discussion on the art of dying. You know, art of dying. Now we need a volunteer to read through. Who would like to read through, please, from the beginning? Would you want to read, Soumya?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Very nice. Okay, 1 minute. Here we go. So here it is. The opposite.
The opposite of the Grihamedi, however, is the Grihastha. The Grihastha ashrama, or the shelter of spiritual family life, is as good as the life of a sannyasi, a member of the renounced order. Regardless of whether one is a householder or a renunciate, the important point is that of relevant inquiries. A sannyasi is bogus if not interested in relevant inquiries, and a grihastha or householder is bona fide if he is inclined to put forward such inquiries. The Grihamedi, however, is simply interested in the animal necessities of life. By the laws of nature, the Grihamedi's life is full of calamities, whereas the life of the Grihastha is full of happiness. But in the modern human civilization, the Grihamedis are posing as the Grihasthas. We should therefore know who is what. A Grihamedi's life is full of vices because he does not know how to live a family life. He does not know that beyond his control is a power who supervises and controls his activities, and he has no conception of his future life. The Grihamedi is blind to his future and has no aptitude for making relevant inquiries. His only qualification that he is bound by the shackles of attachment to the false things he has contacted in his temporary existence.
Okay, just wait for a second, please. All right. Now, would you like to summarize what is mentioned here? What you just read? Just in your words.
Prabhuji, I think what it says is that a grihastha jivan is as good as the life of a sannyasi who has renounced everything. But like what a normal conception is that a grihastha's life is different than that of a sannyasi, because a sannyasi, he has renounced his life and everything and all material sorts of attachment. But a grihastha jivan is the same as that of a sannyasi if he is making those required spiritual inquiries. And in fact, it is better than that of a grihamedi who does not know what is family life, and that there is a power that is even above him, which is controlling everything.
Very nice. Perfect. Excellent. Very good, Soumya. So you're absolutely right in saying that this concept where people think that, okay, sannyasis are different, I'm a grihastha only, and this is generally also the case. And this is the case also within institutions like ISKCON also. Well, what is the difference? It's a different ashram. Ashram means austerity. Shram. Shram means in Hindi language also austerity, working hard. Brahmachari is an ashram. Grihastha is an ashram. Vanaprastha is an ashram. Sannyas is an ashram. Now, in the brahmachari stage ashram and the sannyas stage ashram, And vanaprastha, you cannot earn income. You have to depend upon the Grahastha ashram, family members, who can earn money and support these ashrams. But that does not mean that these other ashrams becomes a business model. It's a good business model. Don't go to work. You get donations and you live a 5-star life. That is not what Prabhupada is saying here. There is a reason Prabhupada mentions here that a Grahastha life, a family member's life, is as good as and as austere as a sannyasi life. That one thing we should very much remember. A sannyasi naturally gets more, reverence. People appreciate him, and generally they become gurus also. So does a brahmachari also does the same thing. Grahastha does the same thing. Vanaprastha does the same thing. But especially Grahastha. Why? I'll tell you why. Because when you earn money and when you have got a license to enjoy family, it is very easy to do so. But when you control your senses, then that is more better than those people who do not have the facility to enjoy. Because they don't have money, neither do they have opposite partner to enjoy. You see? In all the status, it's very important that we understand that a sannyasi also understands that he has to go back to Godhead after this life. He has to lead a Krishna conscious life. And so does a Grahastha also understands this point that he has to lead a Krishna conscious family life. A Grahastha becomes more hard for him because he has to go out and work. He has to maintain his family, wife, children, husband, wife, children, not husband. Husband is for gays. We don't have gays situation, Not that gays cannot be Krishna conscious. Of course, gays can be Krishna conscious. But for anyone who joins Krishna consciousness, they have to understand, if you want to become serious, then you have to control your urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals. You cannot say, I'm a heterosexual, so I can be Krishna conscious, I can produce children. I'm a gay, so I should have my rights to become Krishna conscious. Of course, anybody can become Krishna conscious. There is no limitation. It's artificial to create limitations. This one point I want everyone to understand is that there is no limitation for anyone not to become Krishna conscious. It is birthright for all living entity to become Krishna conscious. And the process is that you have to give up all these things. At the initial stage, it may not be possible to give up. It's okay. You can continue, but have some restrictions. But as one grows, one comes to the age of 50 above, then one's activities has to change completely. And that is the most important thing to understand. Then one cannot say, no, I cannot. You see? So the question about sexual orientation doesn't arise. Because if you cannot beget children, how can you have sex? Sex is only meant for begetting children. But that does not mean we are discriminating against gays and all. No, we accept everyone. We have no problem. We have no issues with anybody. In fact, we also ourselves struggle to control our instincts. Yeah. So I want all you, at least the beginners, to hear this concept. We can elaborate this in the future, but these points will come. Is this clear? This point is what I just mentioned here. Soumya, is it clear for you? I want youngsters to understand this point. Parth, thank you. We can't see you today, but did you pick up what I was saying?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Do you have any questions on this?
No, Prabhuji.
Yeah. All right, good. Divyanshi just joined right now. So did you pick up what we're discussing, Divyanshi?
No, Prabhuji, I just came.
Okay, all right. Maybe you should then listen to the class, once you're
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mayuresh also joined now, so maybe you can pick up as we go, right? Okay, and among the stalwarts here, is this okay? What I discussed, is it not too earth-shaking for anyone? Yeah, for all senior devotees, is it all right?
Yes, all good, Prabhuji.
Yes, good.
Because I don't like this fighting. There's always been a fight also within ISKCON society. We have gay. What about gays' right? What do you mean? What about gays' right? First of all, right is that we should give up sex. So if you want to invite people to become Krishna conscious, you say, of course you're free to welcome sex only to beget children. No, that's again very hard. So the initial stage, it's all right. You can do so. But after 50, you must stop. Prepare for it. Similarly, eating should also reduce. Sleeping should reduce. Sense gratification should reduce. Defense should reduce. We should be dependent only upon Krishna. So till your age of 50, you do whatever you want to do. Not that you must go and party all the night, but have Krishna conscious parties. Yeah. But this is very important. Very, very important. And that's why a Grahastha, he has to make his adjustment with his or her partners, with his partners. So the wife cannot be Grahastha, husband cannot be Grahastha. And everyone tries to come together. And that is the most difficult task. You can conquer the whole world, Srila Prabhupada says, but you cannot conquer your family. You can manage the whole world. You can't manage a family. And that is true for anyone, Nobody is an exception to this. If anyone says, I've conquered my family, good for you, in your dreams, Good for you. No problem. But it is never the case. And that's the reason why a bhakti yogi should observe silence at times. Silence is a key weapon to observe. Just keep quiet. Remember Krishna. You try, otherwise you'll fail. Okay. All right, shall we move on now? Next point.
I've got a question, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So what do you mean by conquering the family, Prabhu? There is
Conquering the family. What do I mean by conquering the family? Family will not listen to you.
There is no war.
No. What? How can it be war? There's no war. But to bring people together, you can bring the whole world together, but you cannot bring your family together. It's very hard. So that's why those of you who from the younger age, that's why we're training younger people, So if they are a little bit inclined towards this, then they'll be saved, very much saved. They're very much saved, I can guarantee you, we may think that, okay, sex is all good. But you look at any research I've seen and I've heard people who had complete, free sex when they're younger age. Women, men, by the time they are 30, 35, they are totally rotten. They said they would cry. I have heard and I've seen them crying. So I had so many multiple sexual partners. That it is so bad for me now. There's so many diseases, so many things which are wrong. So choose your partners nicely. You can have your things, I appreciate that part of life also. And with that, we must study Prabhupada books. For the family, we may teach to everybody, but you can't teach to the family. That's what I was saying.
Sorry, Prabhuji. So just to confirm, you mean to say, I'm just trying to understand. So you mean to say that for people who are in Krishna consciousness and who don't necessarily have a family who are Krishna conscious, it's very difficult to bring them in line? Is that what you mean?
Even if you have got Krishna conscious family, still it will be hard. It is universal rule.
Right.
Because the levels of Krishna consciousness are different, your level of realization. Because there are so many levels, And one cannot force anyone. I was just trying to say that. Is it okay? Avinash Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. That is an austerity, bro. to keep everybody together, on the same page.
Right. And that is the reason why many people would leave their family and go and join sannyas ashram out of frustration. That is wrong. One should perform one's duty very nicely till the time that the children are grown up. And sannyas in this age of Kali Yuga is very difficult to take. So don't, if you can, that's great, but generally you cannot. So go till Vanaprastha. Don't leave your wife and children, but just continue. But we have to be detached. That vairagya is very critical. And vairagya will help us to have peace of mind. I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you this point. Attached person is always a weak person. A detached person is always very powerful. I can prove to you. Do you agree, Parth? What do you think? Attached person is a weak person.
Yes, Prabhu.
Do they not say, if you love somebody, let him go? If they really love, they'll come back to you. This is the same thing. Be detached. You love, just leave the person. They'll come if they are really interested in you. Friendship also same thing. I love you, you love me also same thing. Same thing. So some amount of detachment we should have in life. Please, you youngsters. So unfortunately, all of us, we were also like you. We have gone through your age. We are not so very old, but the whole world is made in such a way that at every stage they teach you attachment. You're attached to the mobile phone, you're attached to movies, you're attached to songs, you're attached to cricket, you're attached to political parties. Even if you don't want to discuss, they'll pressurize you to discuss, debate with you, If you don't debate, they say he's a madman, man. Why is he not debating? So you have to debate, you have to do things, Yeah, I'll take an example. Because see, I'm very concerned with those beginners program who are young, just starting off their life, including my son, So my material work is in media industry, advertising industry, media. It's a very flamboyant industry where alcoholism, meat eating, sex is always there easily. So I distinctly remember this point when I was in New Zealand here, and I was working for a big media company here. And at that time, my boss, and we used to fight. I was in marketing and sales, sales actually. So we'd have targets and flamboyance and fighting and getting all those things. So they all noticed in two different big companies I joined. So the second one also they noticed the same thing. He said, 80, they called me. Ambrish, you let go things, on this. You don't pick up a fight about this is my client, I achieved this. I said, no. He said, why? Because it whatever goes around comes around. Does it come back to you? I said, yeah. Is it not so? I said, that's true. That's true. They understand this. But this, they will not understand if they are very young. This boss of mine, he was older to me. He was married after many years. Then he could understand different partners. He said, yes, you are right. So no point in getting stressed out. I said, no, not at all. No. Including the food habits, I said, I don't eat this food, I have a different food. And they would very appreciate, they would go to the restaurant, they would all order food based on a company would pay. I would sit with them till the order would come. Order comes, I would go and open my car, open my lunchbox. My wife would have cooked some nice, vegetable, roti sabji. And it will be freezing cold because in winter, everything is so cold. There is fresh cooked food for them. And I would eat, And I remember this. I said, Krishna, this is for you. This is for me, Krishna, for my purification, This cold, I think this, because it's in the car, you keep the dabba in the car, lunchbox. And my job was to move around. So anyway, so Grahastha, there is a reason why a sannyasi doesn't have these responsibilities. He has to control his senses only. Whereas a Grahastha, in that ashram, he has to do all other activities which sannyasi is doing, trying to do as much as possible. Of course, he doesn't have to, and he doesn't have to not have sex with a family, with a partner. But as we grow further, it is to be for begetting children, not at the initial stage. It is any stage, it is for begetting children. That is a fact. Srimad Bhāgavatam talks about this. Okay, so step-by-step process is very important. step by, and practical aspect is very, very important on this. That's why a Grahastha wants to be a little bit careful dealing with those people, because you don't know what's going on in their mind. Grahamaries are not interested; they're interested only in sex, alcohol. It's free license, to abuse the wife and children. That's not the case. Our devotee is not. A bhakti yogi doesn't do that. He respects, a lot of respect. Just imagine this. If your partner just uses it for sex, what does it mean, man? I'll be very offended. I'll be very offended. There's a respect. That is the thing. That is love. Yeah. Is it okay? It's a bit hard subject I moved on to, but I wanted to cover these points now. We'll elaborate this as we grow further. Is it okay? Should we move on now? Any questions anyone has got? Anyone from the team?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Parth.
Prabhu, sorry, I have a sore throat today, so just if there are any issues with the voice, so please forgive me. So yeah, my question, Prabhu, is like you mentioned about detachment, right, in relations, in family life. How do we manage detachment and like while not being like irresponsible?
Yeah, good
So
question.
how do we know that
Very
we are detached or are we irresponsible? Yeah, you got the question. Sorry. Yeah.
Very good question. Irresponsibility can be seen, and responsibility can be seen. If one is very, very responsible person, then the person will finish his task very quickly or whenever he can do, but he's finding time to do his activities. That is called detachment. Detachment does not mean that you neglect your relations with your family or with children or whoever it is. That is not detachment. That is not correct understanding. Detachment is where we complete our tasks very nicely. And as we complete our task very nicely, then we are free. We're totally free to do our activities nicely. Is this okay, Parth?
Yes, Prabhu.
Are you sure? Is it okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not irresponsibility. It's just like, for example, when you're children, I take another example, and you want to watch a cricket match going on, like not just going on, India and England is going on, and as a child you want to watch that game on the television, and your mom says, no, you must study first, finish off this work, and then you can do things, right? So what will we do? We'll quickly run, we do that work, and we come back nicely, and we're watching the game, right? This is exactly how one should lead life. When priorities, there is to watch the game, and here priority is to try and develop love for Krishna. And we are fighting against all odds to do that. We are fighting against everyone to do that. Okay? Anyone else has any question before we move on? Okay. Okay, Soumya, please continue with your discussion. Thank you very much. If you can read. Sorry, we finished this, right? Yes, that's right. Here, at night.
At night, such Grihamedis waste their valuable time by sleeping or by satisfying their different varieties of sexual urges by visiting cinema shows and attending clubs and gambling houses, where women and liquor are indulged in lavishly. And during the day, they waste their valuable life in accumulating money, or if they have sufficient money to spend, by adjusting the comforts of their family members. Their standard of living and their personal needs increase with their increase in monetary income. Thus, there is no limit to their expenses and they are never satisfied. Consequently, there is unlimited competition in the field of economic development, and therefore, there is no peace in any society of the human world.
Just one second. So never satiated, means never satisfied. Is it correct what you said? Yes. Okay. So what is this particular paragraph trying to say? Anyone, please? Soumya, we'll try with you.
Prabhuji, I think what it says is that the Grihameti, what he usually does is that he spends his days and nights doing very material and unsatisfactory things. For example, at the night, he is either enjoying himself, partying, he is indulging in his sexual pleasures. And in the morning, he is just competing, he's trying to earn more money, or if he has money, then he is just competing with other people and trying to earn more money, or if he has money then he's satisfying his family members need, all those wants and all those things.
Yeah, good. Very good. Very good. And ultimately, in satisfying your family members' any material needs, actually you're satisfying your own needs. Is it not so? Mahesh, what do you think? In satisfying your family members' needs, you're actually satisfying your needs. What do you think?
No, Prabhuji, I didn't understand. How can we satisfy?
Yeah, so if you're satisfying your family members' needs, you're actually satisfying your own need.
So my need to satisfy them.
That's right. It's your need.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I understood. Yeah.
It's a bit hard.
Yes, Prabhuji, yeah. Understood.
I remember this particular example was given to me when I did one course in a big media company in India. I was in media and logistics, So while in India, I think I was to be in ZTV then, At the time it was new, big at the time. Now there are multiple things. So they was to do this program on development of managers, management executives. So they said that you love yourself more than anybody else. It was quite true. So they took an example. They said, this guy, this good man, he said, I'll give an example of this to you. He said that they did a research where they showed they put a glass, water glass, and they had a monkey with a baby in monkey's hand, she monkey with a baby. Okay, and they started to fill the water. So the monkey, the baby was on the floor. Okay, and they started to fill the jar with water. So as the jar started to fill up, the baby monkey was trying to grasp the water. Water is coming up. So the mother monkey picked up the baby monkey in her hands, okay, to protect the child. So the water, they started to fill more and more water. As they filled more and more water, the baby monkey was lifted by the mother monkey more and more, like this, All right. And then when the water became more, she lifted the baby child like this up than her. Okay? Like this. But then the water, when it went up, when she could not breathe, she dropped the baby monkey, used the baby monkey, and jumped over it. Tried to get it off the glass. So this is how it was proved that we love ourselves more. So when we are trying to help our family and friends, it's for our own satisfaction. That is why one thing you will learn when you associate with us, we never use the word, how can I help you? Because helping is another your need. I like to help people. I get this all the time. I like to help people. It's a need for you to help people be satisfied. So as devotees, we say, how can I serve you? So serving is whereby, even if you don't like it, you have to still do the service. Of course, don't get cheated, Please, that is one thing. Don't misunderstand. You'll be very shrewd and smart that people don't cheat you. But this is the point. Okay? Is this point clear, Mayuresh? This example is all right? Yeah. Anyone
Yes,
has anyone wants to debate this point? Take it further. That we ultimately love ourselves more, even when we are trying to serve our family members or near and dear ones.
Probably this is a very good discussion, which I would like to
Yeah.
get more clarification. So for a Grihastha and Grihmedi, if you take this concept
Hmm.
of loving their family
Hmm.
more than loving themselves, is it the case with the devotees also, who are actually Grihastha, not Grihmedi? What they do?
For the Grihastha devotee, the idea is that he becomes the guru of the family. He leads the way, where everyone then becomes a devotee. Whole family follows him. This is the ultimate test of detachment. So one doesn't need to be not attached to the family. We should not misunderstand that point. We are not attached to the family. But we are not attached to the family only. If we have not trained our eyes to see that they are not this body, they are spirit souls, then what have we learned? Of course, when something happens to them, we are afflicted, no doubt about it. We are also heartbroken. Of course, we'll be heartbroken. This is human. But we are not like those who are heartbroken all the time, who don't come out of that. Because we are not attached. We have given up our attachment to be attached to Krishna, God. So we have spent time in understanding who is God, why is he God, why should I love him, and we have gained all this knowledge about him, and we are in the process of loving him. So we are actually doing this. That's the reason why a Grahastha, a true Grahastha, and a Sanyasi, there's no difference. Sannyasi definition in Bhagavad Gita is one who has renounced. So a Grahastha, any person can renounce his actions, fruits of his actions. A wife is called a Stri. Stri meaning extension of one's sense gratification, oneself. So from one, you become two. From there, you become 3, 4 with the children. That's how it is 3. But his knowledge is applicable to everyone, irrespective of their caste, creed, color, sex, anyone. Sexual orientation, animals also. But animals don't have the ability to think like this and discuss like this. So, and the biggest thing which a guru, a grahastha can do is to tolerate. This is the fact. One can tolerate, but at the same time, by one's own example, one should be. Personal example is very important. We continue with our things, they'll follow us. We cannot force anybody. When they see we are happy, they'll not understand happy. Is this okay?
Yes, bro, just trying to probably understand. So, a Grihastha and a Grihmedi, I think I've learned from you that the responsibility of the head of the family, I'm talking about my situation, what has happened in the past, is actually help other dependent family members to become devotee.
Yes, absolutely right. This is the idea.
That's the idea, that's the Grihastha situation.
Yes.
And for that, your formula you gave it that you become a role model instead of trying to teach them and educate them. Yeah.
Exactly, this is the point. No complications. No complications. When they are small children, you will force them. When they grow up, we cannot. But they will see, they'll remember. Children also, even kids, they see, as Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev would always tell, They do not think the children don't know you. They don't see, they see everything, what is going on. And they are learning all the time by seeing, by hearing, by thinking. So at that time when they see that the leader of the family is giving you the opportunity to become and follow, then they will follow. You never know who's following you, whose role model you are. You never know. So if you're chanting your rounds sincerely, if you try and depend upon Krishna, if we are struggling with our sense gratification, but it is natural. To struggle with sense gratification is natural. But we don't remain in that sense gratification level all the time. That people will learn. How we struggle, how we come back. And that is the point. It's a slow and steady process. But we should never underestimate our immediate family members. That they are the ones whom we are preaching first. And nowadays, in this society where there is so much of money-oriented things, even ladies have to do so much work which men has to do. And don't get me wrong, ladies always had unequal rights. By unequal rights meaning they had more rights than men. I can prove. Someone is laughing. I can prove to you. Do you hear in the newspaper, in the news item, if you switch on, even today, they say a bomb has fallen in Iraq on a marriage party. 50 people died in the marriage party, of which 10 were children and 10 were women. That's what they'll say. Am I right? Do they say 10 were women, 10 were children, and 30 were men? Do they ever say men? No. There 50 people died, of which 10 were children and 10 were women. And they are saying women's liberation. There is hypocrisy going on. Nonsense. So women, because she's a Janani, she's a mother of children, she will always have special status. She is also guru to the children, but she's not guru to the father, to the husband. Unless husband is a rascal, of course, and then she can become. There's no harm. But generally speaking, the Vedic way of life is meant for the husband, men to be leader, and then people will follow. But if they can't leader, then no problem. That anyone can reject the leadership. So when you did not follow properly, not teaching properly, I don't want you as a leader. Democracy, but it's not democracy here. But it is some kind of thinking. You did a wrong decision you're taking. You're asking me to drink alcohol, but I don't want to drink alcohol. This is a wrong habit. See? So like this. Is it okay? Is it all right?
Yes, bro. Thank you very much.
More will come. I'm just trying to explain according to the levels of our beginners program, Because this point, more discussion will come. Because there's a very, and people who are into Krishna consciousness, even in ISKCON, this particular point has not been clear to them. There is a we have got problem in the society saying that womenism, equal rights, non-equal rights, female Diksha Guru, male Diksha Guru, all complete nonsense is going on. Rubbish is going on. But nobody is studying these Prabhupada's books. Nobody is studying Prabhupada's books. That's why arguments are going on. If you study, you don't argue. Prabhupada says clearly. I'm nobody in saying this, but I'm just telling you in my group of circles. This is how it is. This Shastra. Okay? Anyone has to say before we move on?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Abhidham Prabhu, tell me.
So, in ISKCON particularly, I'm talking about. So, whether they don't discuss this points or they don't want to discuss this point for the beginners.
Yeah. Good question, Prabhuji. They may not want to discuss this point. I do not know why not, because I would like to discuss this at the very beginning for beginners program. So these are the fundamentals on which our whole Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam has been discussed. Bhagavatam is all about these points. Grahastha, the role of husband, the role of wife follows, But at the same time, it doesn't mean that the husband can be a rascal and the wife has to follow. That's not the case. Not in Kali Yuga. But this have to be taught. Anyone who reads Prabhupada's books and teaches from Prabhupada's books should teach this. I do not know why they're not doing it. It's up to them. Because here we are discussing about the science of self-realization, the basic book. And here the Prabhupada mentions Grahastha Grihomedi. And we're discussing this. So why not? Anybody is reading this book?
That's one of the biggest loopholes.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to them. I don't know. At least those who are with us will have a clear answer.
If I got the answer, Prabhu, I got the answer. I still remember Pangrai Rath Yatra. And I'm openly say today, I don't fear anybody else, how you stopped me for Jagannath Yatra. Still that bugger can't give me why you stopped me to pay the obeisances to them. But if I pay him today, Prabhu, I'm the most toughest. I'm actually one of his favorite list because I to the Jagannath. So I didn't get, particularly, I don't fear about it and I don't fear anybody else. Okay, today I'll clear it, Prabhu. In ISKCON Auckland, I didn't get the answers of my question very clearly. Apart from only you had cleared me, and only one of the devotee who is in the Wellington, Mahanishinga Prabhu, had cleared me my doubt. Otherwise, I didn't got my answers. If I ask something questions, today I'll say, Prabhu, मुझे गाड़ी में बता के बोल दिया गया था, अभिराम प्रभु, आप अपने क्वेश्चंस मत पूछिए हमारे को. I don't want her. मैंने उसको यही बोला, फिर कल से आप व्यासासन में मत बैठिए जब आप क्वेश्चंस का जवाब ही नहीं दे सकते हैं. Don't stop the people. This is what happened, Prabhu. But anyhow, आज तक कोई आंसर का जवाब नहीं पाएगा. अगर मैं यहाँ से उड़ा प्रभु, मैं एक किताब लिखूंगा जिसका नाम होगा इनकम्प्लीट आंसर्स.
That's all right. That's okay. We study Prabhupada's books and we just do our things. They're all my friends. I can't answer for them what do they do, but that's okay. Thank you. Devashi, is this point clear for you? You get this point?
Yes.
Right. Soumya, you want to say anything, Soumya? No, all good. Mayuresh?
Yes, Prabhuji.
All right. Parth, all right? Parth?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yes, tell me.
Prabhu, like the point you mentioned about, women liberation and all. Prabhu, what I've experienced is in the past that, if there are particular kind, like if there is a female who's following this Krishna consciousness and she knows that this is logically right about these female rights and everything, but then if she's trying to follow them, her friends, because the society is not like that, so friends leave them. It's not just case with women, it's case with everybody. You have a very small social circle, people start leaving you. So how can we deal with that? They call you backward, this is a very backward mentality, and why are you for females it might especially be true that this is very backward mentality, what are you doing, are you a slave, all these points. So what should we do in that case? Should we leave those friends? Should we stay with them? What should we do?
Yeah, good question, Parth. First of all, we have to understand is that what is happening with us when we are changing. Our interests are changing. So just like if you like to drink alcohol, you'll have friendship with alcoholics. If you like to go and play your soccer, you'll have friendship with soccer people. If you are a very studious person like to study science, you will have friendship with people who are studying science. Even studying, if you like to study science, you will not make friends with people who are studying arts. See, to that extent, we are very focused upon our needs and wants, So that's the reason that we are forming this equation, this circle, this system, where at least amongst us, we can have interaction, we can clear our doubts, and we can associate at least sometime in a week, 2-3 hours in a week. But you should understand one thing, that we are changing because we are convinced this knowledge is superior knowledge. If we are convinced about this, then we do not mind making new friends than others. We do not become, I have lost so many of my friends. Not that I've lost them, but we can't, on the same wavelength, they speak something else. And believe you me, my very, very close friends, very, very close friends, inseparable friends. Yeah. But at the same time, we have respect. We meet, we talk on things, our interests may be different. But that doesn't mean that we are saying you are foolish, you are low, you are fallen, you are rascal. So no, you have it. You want to drink alcohol? No, you have it. I will not have it. It's okay. Simple as that. It's very, let's not complicate things. But I understand your practical situation, especially with your age. So always remember one thing. We should not try to preach to people who are not ready to be preached. Just be their friends. You are their friends. That's it. So that's how we have got multiple friend circles everywhere. For some of them, we're devotees interacting, like here, what we're doing. With others, they are not interested in devotional service. So we talk. I may not talk about all the time what they're talking. I mean, he'll listen, I will hear, I will switch off my mind. I remember distinctly when I was doing this job, and again, we used to go out for lunch. So many free food goes out, in New Zealand also, So they would say, they would wait for the food to come, the food would come, and they would talk, yapping, whatever thing. I'll be there, party to that. And then, so I remember another boss asked me, this guy's Indian, So, Eddie, so you are not going to eat anything here? I said, no. Not drinking? I said, no. So just to make a fun, I said, well, I'm not even breathing. You don't know me, don't you? You may relish this, but I don't. But that's all right. We were laughing. That's all right. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to pick up this plate, take out this animal who has been killed for my tongue satisfaction. Krishna has given me enough opportunity that I can do other ways. And they appreciate it. Even today, they are in great difficulty, materially also. But we are satisfied. So Parth, please, in your friendship with others, always be satisfied. Don't try to convert them for now. Keep them as they are. They may say you become sadhu and all. Okay, well, that's fine. You're my friend, right? So your friend because I'm not sadhu, or your friend because of I'm Parth, or I'm Ambarish. So accept me as I accepted you, Is it okay, Parth?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
And do this not for your satisfaction. Everything that you should do it for the satisfaction of Krishna. Keep him as the object of your love. So why do you do this? Oh, this is my expression of love for Krishna. Tell yourself this. Krishna is in the heart. He will understand this. He gives the facilities for us to accept things, tolerate things, be successful also on this. But try not to complicate things, Try not to complicate things. Complication will happen when you want to change people. Don't change your friends. Because they are your friends, if they want to change, they'll come being changed. Otherwise, they will not change because they are friends.
That's very much true, Prabhu.
Thank you. Okay, Parth, is it all right, Parth?
Yes, Prabhuji.
See, I'm not shunting away your question. You will have more questions on this point. I want you to be free to ask every time, every week. Don't worry about it. My son is of similar your age, your people's age. He's younger to you guys, Hey, Jai. Krishnas.
Sorry, my light was off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right, you know.
Actually, Prabhuji, I think what Prabhu was asking was particularly about the woman aspect, you know, about how would you respond to if women who say that, you know, they're in the movement and they believe that, you know, it's, for example, it could be construed as patriarchal, or, you know, that women are not considered in the same equal level as men. So how would you respond to that? I think if Prabhu can correct me, but I believe that's what his question was. Is that right?
Yeah, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Oh, good. Same level, they understood the question. I didn't understand the question. I'm a different age group, you know. I thought I was focusing upon his things. Yeah, so ladies should ask. Ladies, mother is Divyanshi Soumya. What do you think? Is it a correct question? Your practicals here, youngsters. Yeah. What do you think, Divyanshi? Is it a correct question?
Yes, I think.
Yeah. Soumya?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is a correct question.
So you have some answers for this? Because you guys are very smart people.
Prabhuji, I think the answer for it would be, it's not that it is a it is a patriarchal society, but it is not in the bad sense. It is not that the woman is repressed and she's being tortured, and the man who is the man of the house, he's living his life very lavishly. I think the idea behind the concept is that the woman is supposed to be taken care of,
Yes.
and that she is in what you said, how women rights have always been unequal, because a woman is considered to be more sensitive and kind of more important. That is why she's supposed to be taken care of, and that is why the lead role is taken up by the man of the house.
Very good. That's absolutely correct. And remember one more thing. I'll have to make a statement. Prabhupada said this. There will always be inequality in this world. You will never ever find equality. Impossible to have equality. It will always be unequal.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and everyone. So I just wanted to say something. Can I say now, or should I? Did I interrupt?
Yes, please feel free.
So the first thing that always comes to my mind is that we have seen how our grandparents have lived, or our parents have lived, and I just feel it's definitely a bit of propaganda in the way it is in the society about women's liberation, because the lady who started the women's liberation movement is actually in the present hour says that she thinks it's wrong of her to think like that, or that she doesn't believe in it. But just going back to my point, the first thing is that I always felt that it's a complementary role that man and woman play. That's how we saw our grandparents or our parents or our elderlies, how they behaved. So there was no competition. And this has unfortunately the concept of competition has come about. Why can't I do this, or why can't it? Is not like that. I'm sure all the women will agree that our mindset is different. Their mindset and our mindset is different. So if a woman has to stay at home and look after the family, I don't think anyone would have a problem with that. You can go ahead and you can do your work and your profession and everything. So I think the mindsets are different. So there is no way in which you can compare and you can say that. I totally agree that there is no question of equality, because that's not how we're meant to be. That's not how, and that is besides the point. It's, I think, more that your roles should be complementary to each other. And that way, you see how your elders have lived, and they've lived very happily. Then there has not been any, as Soumya pointed out, I don't see that there was any suppression or you can't do this, or that has been there in the society as well, and probably that's the reason why this has come about in a way where it's happening. But from the Vedic perspective, from where we're reading the Vedic perspective, I don't think that's what has happened. And just on a personal level, Srila Prabhupada very nicely explains it, that in women's liberation, you're saying the women are trying to be liberated or whatever. In that, what is happening is actually they are getting exploited, which is a fact. If you come to the Western world, you can see that. So in our day-to-day lives, we come across so many people at work or in other different places, and for whatever reasons, they have separated from their families, but they're struggling. It's not that they're happy. They might, in the garb of women's liberation, they might think that they're liberated, but actually they're not. And those that have stayed with the family, not so much in the thought process of being women's liberated, but just to complement the family, I think are much happier, and there is nothing that they cannot do. So we have these talks even with people who are born and brought up in the Western world, and they actually do appreciate our Indian culture. This is just not really clearly not based on any spiritual discussion or anything like that, but just a general discussion, and they appreciate the values that we have. So I really felt like coming in and saying this, because more and more people are realizing that that is not the truth. So there will be some people who think that, as Path was asking, Path Prabhu, that, are you slaves or anything like that? But that's not the way that is the recommendation in the Vedic scriptures. That's not how the great Kunti Maharani or Draupadi, or they were not treated like that. Draupadi knew everything about the Pandavas, the treasure and all the finances and everything. So how can you say that she was a slave, So that's my point. I hope I've not confused by saying too many things. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, can I say something? Is it okay if I say something?
Just one thing. We have to understand one very important thing, that ultimately compatibility from husband and the wife is only for a certain number of years in a Vedic society. Marriage till the age of 50, 55. When a man becomes 50, he should spend most of his time doing devotional activities. Lady doesn't need to, okay, but at the same time, there has to be enough wealth created that they can live peacefully. So understanding compatibility is to the extent that when they are young and they are developing their Krishna consciousness. But our whole thing is that the man is trying to love Krishna, the wife is trying to love Krishna. Both help each other to love Krishna. That's it. Don't complicate anymore. Prabhupada says this much, keep it to this much. So, and nobody, one person doesn't have a perfect answer. But because the physiology is different for a lady, for a woman, because she has to bear child, because of physiology, the psychology is different. She cannot think like men cannot think like women. So because of that, artificially they say, okay, the lady can't understand these points because she's so busy with her affairs on things, family, children, all those things. They don't have time. That is where people misunderstand this to say, oh, you are, short intelligence and all that. I don't think. You have given such nice answers. I don't think at all. But men has to lead a very important role. My focus is, the Vedic culture's focus is about the men. And if right now what is happening is that because the man is not studying the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad, Bhāgavatam, not controlling the senses, do not know what's going on. They are on the mental platform all the time, sensual platform, mental platform. That's why money draws everything. So when a person is focused upon trying to develop his love for Krishna, that means what? We should define this also clearly. It's a very vague word, vague sentence. Okay, we're to develop our Krishna consciousness. Right, so what does it mean? It means this, that we should work towards identifying our spiritual identity in Krishna's world. What is our position in Krishna's world? Jivera Sarupoy Krishna Nityadas Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says we are eternally servant of Krishna. So we are serving him in the spiritual world. So for that we have to understand what is spiritual world. First thing, we have to understand that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. That's first thing. We are a spirit soul and his body, we are part and parcel of Krishna. And third thing is, as part and parcel of Krishna, our only business is to love him. Now, to love him is the whole big exercise. So we have a spiritual identity. In the 4th page of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada explains this point. And that identity has to be, we have to figure out our identity. Both women and men, both. Okay? Gopi, Gopi Bhav, Dasaras, Sakyaras. These are, if we do not know this, we think that at the end of our life we will get this. It happens, that's right. But why wait till the end of the life? We should do it now. When the body is healthy, when the mind is still sharp, at that point in time, we should work this out. So this man-woman compatibility is only to the extent of this. The spiritual level, everyone is the same. But because the body of a man is different, woman's body keeps changing all the time. Man's body doesn't change so much. So women think in a particular way because she bears a child. Man doesn't think so much. That's why he has more responsibility, and that's why he's a guru. Women cannot be between husband and the wife. If the husband is foolish, then the wife can become. Let them follow the wife, you know. Otherwise, follow the husband. It should be Krishna conscious, you know. Yeah. I wanted to say this, Krishnadas. You wanted to complete the point, please?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Just to add on there, I think I personally feel that the discussion kind of went slightly away from what Prabhu's original.
Hard to answer what your.
But even still, the question that Prabhu asked was very specific. That if someone asks you, if they say that, look, in your movement in ISKCON, I believe that there's some inequality or inequity there, between the men and the women. So how would you respond to that? So here the answers we gave were very general about the society in general.
I gave the answers before.
Right. So as you mentioned, Prabhupada has said himself that in the context of Krishna consciousness, this inequality doesn't exist.
No.
And we have what I mean to say is we have examples in the movement where, for example, there are Matajis who are pujaris in the temple.
Yeah.
So that's a very big example as well.
Yeah, of course. Ladies can be pujaris in ISKCON, no problem. In Krishna consciousness, not only ISKCON, in Krishna consciousness.
Right, yeah.
Right. But now, when you say that in your ISKCON or in Krishna consciousness there is inequality, man and woman, you are assuming too many things. Let us debate that point for 5 minutes. Tell me, how is it inequality? Where is inequality? I want to ask you a question. Yeah.
Okay, so for example, women can't become gurus. Men can become gurus.
Because it is nowhere in the scriptures it is mentioned women can become guru. If you don't read scriptures, if you are going to think logically, if you're going to put logic in it, and if you're going to read logical books for logical people, they'll say yes, equal. Even dog can be guru also. But at the same time, Srimad Bhāgavatam says we can have 20 gurus, 24 gurus. Even dog can be a guru. We can learn from somebody. But if you say that woman has to be, how can she be? She cannot be.
How so?
That doesn't mean that she may not be spiritually qualified. You are wrong in thinking. She may be spiritually qualified. But taking disciples, nowhere in the scripture there is mentioned this. You are going against Srila Prabhupada's teachings.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, one second, Path. That's why I'm saying that for people at the beginning should be learned or taught all these things. Then they can come inside. Say, right, that's right. You know. Others say they don't teach all those things. They say, no, why not? Then there's fight going on. You don't need Bhagavatam. What can be done? Does it mean that you are inferior? No, no. Means your roles are different to that of men. And if you are not satisfied with your role there, I can guarantee you, you will not be satisfied anywhere. To become a guru is not an easy thing. You take karma of your living beings. And she is dependent upon husband. How can a person is dependent upon the husband, or if the husband is not there, then the elder son of the family? If the elder son is not there, then the son-in-law she is dependent upon. How can that person say, I'm a guru, I'll give you diksha? What? Would make any sense? Then you're writing your own scriptures, which you can do logically. But Bhagavatam doesn't say this, Bhagavad doesn't say that.
So the woman can be a Shiksha Guru?
Of course. She's always a Shiksha Guru.
Right, yeah.
Of course she can be Shiksha Guru, not Diksha Guru.
Yeah.
If you have difficulty, don't be Krishna conscious. Who's stopping you? And if you want to be Krishna conscious, study books. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad, Bhāgavatam. Simple. I'm telling you, you argue about this because you don't study. Not you means you, I'm saying anybody else. And they'll put on our logical things. If you don't study your logical thinking, logical can be anything, man. You can talk arguing on logic till the time the cows come home. But scriptures are law books to say, here it is mentioned here, this is what it says, follow this. So no argument. It is so perfect. Why do you want to become guru, man? You tell me one thing. It's a headache to become guru. To take someone's karma is so easy. Man, everything is to take a headache, and they won't even follow you properly. You become a father, have a child, then you see whether the child is following you. Hi, Avinash Prabhu. And then talk about having other children, thousands of them, and they'll follow you. You ladies, you have children, and then you see how much the children will follow you. How much you follow your parents. Sorry, not to say that, but it's so hard, Why not? They always rebel, The age changes, rebellion going on, how to go there. So please, this is scriptures. I'm trying to focus on scripture. Don't add any further dimensions. So have you got the answers, Divanshi, on this? If somebody says that it's a very patriarchal society, what do you say to this? I think she is frozen. Yeah, Soumya, what do you think of this? We'll complete the discussion now at this point. So what do you think with this? People say that, okay, you're following Krishna consciousness, it's a very patriarchal system. What do you say to this?
Prabhuji, I'll say the same thing I said before, that it's not like it's a patriarchal system, but it's that the woman is valued more, and it is just that they are valued more, and so that is why the man is said to be the leader of this house.
Absolutely right. Perfect. Just like a farmer, when he's cultivating the land, you don't grow seed just like that. You have to cultivate the land, take care of the land nicely, and then bow the seeds. That is what a woman is. She's the Janani, mother. Earth is a mother. One of the 7 mothers, as Madhuna Prabhu said, one of the 7 mothers, Earth is a mother. Similarly, mother is mother. Woman is a mother. So she has to be taken care of very nicely. And I can tell you one thing. If somebody says that, hey, Ambrish, you're a man, you become subordinate to women, and women become take the charge, I'll be very happy to doing that. Because then I can do whatever I want to do. You do not know being a leader meaning what? Means you have to do right things, others may or may not follow you. You see? So I'll be very happy. You be the boss. I don't mind. What do you think? Correct?
I fully agree, Prabhu. I remember, just add to this, you tell us, go and talk to people and do this. And so it is so hard to answer those questions. It's a difficult job, Prabhu.
Yeah, so no problem. Women become guru, I become guru. I don't want to become guru. They will take the boy. But don't talk logical, Krishnadas. Talk me scriptures. Yes, tell me.
Yeah, for the sake of the debate, I mentioned that.
Scriptures, yeah.
Yeah, for the sake of the debate, I mentioned all that guru thing. But just to give a bit more clarity, I think it would be beneficial if we could mention, I think you told me about the, what Prabhupada had said. And I can't remember the context in which Prabhupada said this, but he said that in Krishna consciousness, both the men and the women are equal.
Yeah. That's
So
right.
could you elaborate on what Prabhupada meant by that? Thank you.
Good point. So here what happened is that when Prabhupada were in Mumbai, in Juhu temple, so at that time there was Yamuna Mataji was there, and Yamuna Mataji, so Prabhupada were with some of the people there, Indian crowd, and Prabhupada was saying and roaring that women are inferior sex, they are subordinate to men. And he looked at Yamuna Mataji. So what do you think, Yamuna? So she said, yes, Prabhupada, women are inferior to men. And Prabhupada gave the class and all. And Prabhupada said, no, that's right. Women are inferior to men, but not Vaishnavis. See, Krishna consciousness is leading a life which is spiritual life. The life which will be leading in the spiritual world, we are leading here. There, we will not have a... When gopis were present on earth 5,000 years ago, we accept gopi as the topmost devotees. They also had these philosophical programs discussing Krishna. Okay, so when anyone is loving Krishna, then it's not on a bodily platform, it's on a spiritual platform. But for the sake of sincerity and for the sake of clarity, you have men is a guru, women cannot be guru. Full stop. But women and men have got equal rights, equal chances to become Krishna conscious. That's it. And I want all of you to understand this as we move further. So there's no further complication. It's not going to become a shock. Hey, I did not know this. All you ladies should not think like this. I don't want to go Krishna conscious for 10 years, I'm telling you first time, this is how it is. That's why I'm taking pains to explain these points to you. Is this clarified, Krishnadas? Is it okay with you?
Yeah, I think the answer was, given now properly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Parth, is it okay, Parth?
Yes, Prabhu.
So ultimately, we have to go back to Godhead. Don't forget this. This is the most important thing. It's not about women's equality and men's equality. This bodily platform. We are all spiritual beings. Okay? Good. Mayuresh, is it all right, Mayuresh?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Good. Divanshi is okay? Divanshi?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Soumya? You always had this clarity. That's very good. Very nice. Now, I think we are 8:20. We're 20 minutes away over time. A lot of overtime. Unless somebody has a very burning point to say, we'll complete the discussion today now. Finish. Anyone like to say something? Please feel free. But talk from the scriptures, okay?
Prabhuji, I actually have a question.
Okay.
Prabhuji, like it is said that the woman is supposed to take shelter of her husband, and then if her husband is not there, for example, what if the woman is a widow and her son is very small, not old enough to take care of her, and her family, like her husband's side of family, has kind of they have renounced her, they're not in connection to her, then what is the woman supposed to do then? Like, isn't I think the only option she's left with at that point is to, that time, does she become the leader of the house herself?
It's a good question. It's a very good question. The scriptures say this, that when a girl is young, she's under the shelter of the father. You all are favorites of your father. The father will give you anything what you say. Ladies are like this, girls. Right? The fathers are nodding, All fathers are nodding this one. That's right. So now, when a girl grows up, gets married, she's under the shelter of the husband. After the husband, if husband dies, something happens, takes sannyas or whatever, then she has to be under the shelter of the eldest son. Okay? Now, if the child is young, as you mentioned, Soumya, and she becomes a widow, then she should take shelter of somebody senior, of the father-in-law. But if you said they have renounced her, then she can take shelter of her own father if he is present, original father, or her brother, elder brother who's present. Now I know in Kali Yuga, none of this will help you. Okay? So she has to take care of herself. Nobody in this world can take away the right from anyone to take care of oneself. Remember this point. These are scriptural say, and it is said to kill a woman is the most abominable thing to do. They did not say kill a man. Right? Brahmanas, cows, and women. They always need to be taken shelter. Even Brahmanas need to be given shelter. Yeah. So Kali Yuga is a very, very difficult situation. That's why many people say that it's better we don't teach girls, don't give them education. You know, sometimes devotees say that. Shastrically, they are correct. But if I had my daughter, I would have given her full education, taught her everything. So tomorrow she can be prepared for any eventuality also. And she has to be. And I'm again telling you, you a follower, I'm also a follower. I'm also in the shelter of so many seniors. Till the time they don't cheat me. The moment I feel they're cheating me, I'm not under their shelter. Okay? So remember this point. Nobody should be able to force anyone to take shelter of anything. These are the process I told you. Father, then husband, then eldest son, father-in-law, no? Then back to father, no? Elder brother, eldest son. No, she should take care of herself. There's no other option. My aunt was alone. Such a great personality she was. She was like my mother. I've got many mothers, you know, very fortunate to have on this. They treat me. And she was very old. I mean, in those age, the family was very bad, her in-laws, you know. So they said, no, we can't leave her like this. My grandmother said, powerful lady at that time, in that age. She said, no. These are wrong people we have got her married to. She'll come back. A very educated lady she was. My grandmother also very sharp, clever, super clever. So they brought her back to their home. Okay, and my aunt was very, very clever person. She was a teacher. Even today in New Zealand, I find her students here. If I tell her that she was a teacher and this is college, this is university, yeah, I used to study, I know her very well, you know, Pushpa Ben. Okay, so she studied, lived independently after that. No, a very chaste lady, very clever independently. And when she left her body, she took the name of Ram, and Ram protected her. Yeah, I was told. Before she closed her eyes, she said Ram. Hey Ram, you know, remember Ram. So why will Krishna not see the chastity of a person? It's very easy for ladies to get liberation. She just has to be chaste. For men, all this nonsense is there. All these problems are there for men. Women, be chaste. Chant the name of Krishna. And it's very easy for ladies to become Krishna conscious. You cook for Krishna. You love Krishna. You can have a husband, no problem. If the husband is not Krishna conscious, don't force him. You become Krishna conscious. Prabhupada's sister used to cook meat for her husband. That doesn't mean she was not Krishna conscious. She used to cook meat. I should do what to do. Yeah. So these are other points. But please, is this clear, Soumya? I'm giving you more and more 45 answers so that many questions can be answered in one question. Is it okay? Good. Very nice. All right. Anyone else has to say anything before we finish today's discussion, please? Okay, right. Remember one thing, there is no controversial points in Krishna consciousness. If there is any controversial points, that means they're putting their brain, not scriptures, in the middle. That's it. This is the clue. There is no controversy. There is no problem. There's only transparency. All right? Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Jai. Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Shri Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Now, whose turn is it to sing Maharaj? Maharaj, please hear us. Sajeev Prabhu, is it yours? I think he's at work or something.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, I'm at work, but children would be at home.
Okay.
I'll see.
Your wife is here. Dolly Mataji is here. See if
Okay.
Man, it's 8:30. You're still working? Okay. All right. Okay. But remember these points, whatever we've discussed, they are all recorded. Okay. It's on YouTube also. It's on our website also. So tomorrow, I cannot say, hey, I did not say that, you know. No political things, you know. I've said it. Here it is. Okay. We're going to take time. Probably it's too late for them. Navina, you're ready, eh? Navina is always ready.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I can't get hold of her.
No problem.
So, yes.
That's
Thank
Here
you,
she is.
Prabhuji.
We can see her. Her phone had, the camera had started. I don't know whether she wants to start with the kids. No, okay. All right.
Yes, Subhadra. Chalo.
Oh, here she is. Subhadra is here. Okay. Hare Krishna, Subhadra. कैसे हैं आप? ठीक हैं? Very nice. Hare Krishna. Now please sing. Oh, you are with your brother and cousin sister and cousin brother. Very nice. They will also do like you then, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Start. Okay, start. 1, 2, 3, start.
Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us.
Maharaj, Maharaj, please hear us.
We have learned some real good stuff.
We have learned some real good stuff.
Maharaj, we have learned one thing.
Maharaj, we have learned one thing.
And today for you we will sing.
For you we will sing.
The room is clean.
The room is clean.
Then our mind is clean.
Then our mind is clean.
If our mind is clean,
If our mind is clean,
we can do anything.
we can do anything.
If our room is dirty,
If our room is dirty,
then so are we.
then so are we.
If we are dirty,
If we are dirty,
we're not happy.
we're not happy.
Wasting time
Wasting time
is the greatest crime.
is the greatest crime.
Because wasted time
Because wasted time
means a wasted mind.
means a wasted mind.
So best is your time.
So best use your time
when you're in your prime.
when you're in your prime.
In your whole life
And your whole life
will be sublime.
will be sublime.
If your wealth is gone,
If your wealth is gone,
then there's nothing wrong.
There is nothing wrong.
But if your health is gone,
But if your health is gone,
that's a different song.
that's a different song.
But if your character dies,
But if your character dies,
then the world will cry.
then the world will cry.
Only saintly behavior,
Only saintly behavior,
that's a man of three tribes.
lets humanity thrive.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We must always remember Krishna.
We must always remember Krishna
And never forget him too.
and never forget him too.
But how are we to practice this with so many things to do?
But how will we practice this? There's so many things to do.
That is the greatest question.
That is the greatest question.
And here's the greatest clue.
And here is the greatest clue.
You must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you.
You must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you.
So listen very closely.
So listen very closely
And make your thinking sharp.
and make your thinking sharp.
Let's learn how we can live and work so Krishna won't depart.
Let's learn how we can live and work so Krishna won't depart.
If something
Who's tomorrow?
If something's due tomorrow,
Finish it today.
finish it today.
Whatever's due today,
Whatever's due today,
do it now. Don't delay.
do it now, don't delay.
Your friends might be lazy.
Your friends might be lazy
Or doing bad things.
or doing bad things,
But you think again.
but you think again.
Don't follow them.
Don't follow them.
You will win the end.
You will win in the end.
Whatever work we're given,
Whatever work we are given,
we do our very best.
we do our very best.
We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest.
We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest.
This is how to live, to work and to play.
You love to live this way.
You'll see Krishna every day.
This is how to live, to work and to play. You love to live this way. You will see Krishna every day.
When your time is up, he'll take us up above. He'll sing and dance with him with a heart full of love.
When our time is up, we'll take us up above. We'll sing and dance with him with a heart full of love.
So chant Krishna's name, his glories and his fame. He's the only in this world who can ever become saint.
So chant Krishna's name, his glories and his fame. It's the only way this world will ever become saint.
So now please ask this greatest question.
Now please ask this greatest question
And find this greatest clue.
and find this greatest clue.
You can only remember Krishna.
You can only remember Krishna
If Krishna remembers you.
if Krishna remembers you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai, Holiness Srila Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Jayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan Mahayagna ki Jai, Jai God Chandra Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Hare.
Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Devi Govardhan Nirvisheshu Hari Pasha Sarani. Madhavendra Puri Prabhu, did you see that shirt Iqbal was wearing? He said, talk less, work more, do more. You know?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Come. Oh, yeah, you're right. Thank you.
बोलना कम, हाँ,
काम बातें अधिक.
हाँ, बातें कम, काम अधिक.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, dear devotees. We'll see you next week, same place, same time. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.